think Stacey David like that?
I would think so, man. That's pretty vicious.
You know, he used to be a professional musician before he was on TV.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what he did. For 15 years, he was a studio musician, professional musician.
Really?
Really.
That's just too cool.
But you know what happened?
No.
His car guy side came out. Took over.
The car bug. I don't know anything about it.
No, nobody does that. But yeah, I sat down. I went up to his studio in Nashville and sat down with him and had a good conversation. Found out more about who Stacey David is.
Yeah, that's just cool. And see, this is kind of stuff that you never see on any of these other, car shows, man. You guys just really, are getting something that we've never been able to get.
Exactly.
Which is why we're doing this, which is why you guys are watching Cale's Garage.
And everybody knows that he's a fabricator. We could have done something where we showed his fabrication skills, but everybody knows how good he is.
Sure.
But we want to know more about Stacy. So here's the man behind the gears, Mr. Stacey David. As you can see, we're not in the garage. We are actually sitting here at the Gearz garage, sitting with Stacey David. Stacy, thank you for coming on the show and talking with us.
It's great to be here.
We know you're a busy man. You got a lot of projects down here.
A lot of toys.
A lot of toys.
Yeah.
And that's what all of us car guys are about, is all of our toys and our cars and stuff. And we want to sit here and we want to ask you some questions about you.
Okay.
We
cool.
see you on TV all the time. We know what you do on here on the TV show. But, we kind of want to know what you did prior to the TV show.
Well, actually, I was a professional musician for years. I came to Nashville, and I was a professional musician for about 15 years.
Wow.
And I was really fortunate. I made a good living doing that, but I was always building cars. From my earliest memories, it was either cars or guitars.
Yeah.
And as I started, I kind of started into the car thing. I would buy cars cheap, refurbish them a little bit, and make money off of them.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a sideline. And then I finally opened a custom shop here in town.
Okay.
And so I was doing that. I was playing, music and sessions and things like that, and working on cars at the same time. And they didn't fit together too well sometimes. My hands would be all beat up and bloody knuckles, and people in the recording studio would be like, "What the heck?" And but that's kind of how it got started.
And that's amazing because, you talk about that, and a lot of us, we do like the musical aspect. And that was something we wanted to know was about your musical talents. And obviously, you've been playing guitar for a long time.
Yeah, I started when I was 6.
When you were 6?
Yeah.
So when did you get into cars?
When I was about 3, I guess. My parents have a picture of me, and I'm probably 1.5. I'm sitting, on my dad's lap, and I have like this steam shovel in one hand and a marshmallow in the other. It's like, and I'm sure that Chuck Berry was probably playing on the radio, man. So they've just always gone hand in hand. And that is the biggest thing we try to hit on the show, is that rock and roll and hot rods, country music and trucks, music and vehicles go hand in hand.
Yes,
Matter of fact, you can actually look through our history and you can fit musical styles to the type of clothes and the type of cars that people were driving. You got disco and you got the Pinto. That's like two sides of the same coin. In the 50s, you had cool hot rods, muscle cars. You had, you look at the stuff that people were wearing, you look at the music they were listening to, and the cars fit it.
Let's see Stacey David do that on his show. When we come back, we've got more with Stacey David from Gearz. Stick around.
Gulf Coast Drivetrain in Spanish Fort, across from Rockwell Elementary School, provides basic maintenance including fluid exchanges, passenger and light truck tire service, brake service, along with air conditioning and climate control diagnostics and repair. We offer our own 24-hour roadside service to protect your ride. Call us today at 625-6862 to schedule your next service. Listed for sale by Caldwell Banker Real Properties, this house in Spanish Fort has a whole home water filter, separate playroom, and large bonus room. Call Bo Blackwell at 990-6622. Listed for sale by Coldwell Banker Real Properties, this 2,300 square foot house in Spanish Fort has a spacious yard to build a custom garage or shop. Amenities include high-end stainless steel appliances. Call Bo Blackwell at 990-6622.
Are you a gearhead that enjoys outside sales? Do you have a passion for the automotive lifestyle? The upcoming move of Cale's Garage to a new time slot has created a need for additional salespeople. If you would like to be considered for a position where you can earn while pursuing your passion, send your resume to Cale at calesgarage.com. And here's the rest of our interview with Stacey David. Now, other than playing the guitar, what else do you like to do in your spare time when you're not filming the show?
You know, I've always been a real outdoors person. You know, I grew up hunting and fishing and doing that kind of stuff. You know, I have a wonderful family, 2 young daughters. We spend a lot of time with them. You know, me and my wife are always doing things. So I don't get a lot of time to spend with them. So usually my private time is with them. But we're always doing stuff. You know, most of it's car oriented too.
Yeah.
You know, I build models from time to time. I usually do that when we're watching a TV show.
Exactly.
You know, just something. I always got to be building something.
Now, I know this may be a little bit too much, but are your daughters into cars as well?
They're getting into them.
Okay.
You know, they are very much, you know, they were into Barbies and things like that. But now, you know, they're 10 and 12 years old. They're starting to realize it, and most of the young boys at school are familiar with the show.
Yeah.
So like, hey, your dad, I was watching on the show and he was doing this. And they're like, really? Dad's doing that?
Yeah. What? We don't know about that.
So they've gotten enamored with the car with the rumble seat.
Yeah.
You know, so they've decided, you know, they're starting to pick out the cars they want.
Yes.
And I told them, you know, when our oldest one, about the time she hit 16, just like my parents didn't buy me a car, you know, a new one anyway.
Exactly.
I'm going to get them something used, and we're going to put it together. So by the time that they're ready for the driver's license, they can drive it.
And my daughter's the same way.
That way, you know, they'll appreciate it. You know, they'll know the cars, and you know, they'll have fun with it. So that's important to me. You know, you don't just give a kid something.
No.
You know, they got to earn it. And they'll appreciate it. And
that's what we're doing with my daughter. You know, she does our die-cast garage on the show.
Yeah.
And so she's learning about the vehicles. She's already got her first car picked out.
Yeah.
She wants a Volkswagen Beetle that's baby blue with pink flames.
Yeah. That's awesome. The Beetle.
The Beetle.
It never ends. The Beetle is always like, people love that Beetle.
It's timeless. You know, and so that's you know, that's great that our kids are getting into this, because if we don't get the kids into it,
sure,
then everything that we love and our passions, that they go away. You know, and that's big for us, is to have the kids involved with what we do.
Yeah.
So now, you know, you've built vehicles like the Copperhead. You've built, you know, your Roadster down here. Are you more of a car guy, or are you more of a truck guy?
Kind of both. You know, I don't really. Matter of fact, I like everything.
Yeah.
You know, I like airplanes. I like motorcycles. When I did trucks, obviously I could only do trucks. But if you look back on the vehicles I did on trucks, one was a street rod, one was a hot rod. You know, there was. I love off-road vehicles of all types. But I also like cars, sports cars. I've grown up around it so much. You know, I used to work on British sports cars all the time. Probably my favorite sports car.
You can't help but to work on a British car all the time.
Oh, you got to work on it. Yeah, Lucas. Jeez. But Jaguar XKE is one of my favorite sports cars of all time.
Yes.
And, you know, a lot of Austin Healey's, Triumphs. You know, did a lot of that, a lot of muscle car stuff.
Yes.
And so I kind of like all of it. And people ask me, like, are you a Ford guy or a Chevy guy? I really like them. I've had good and bad of each.
Exactly.
So, and I get tired of a particular one after a while. You know, if I am driving a street rod for a long time, I'll be looking at muscle cars going, I really want a Roadrunner. Yeah, I really want a, you know, Chevelle or something like that. Then if you drive one of those for a while, you see a 32 go by, and it's like, gosh, you know, it'd be kind of cool to be driving that. And then you see a big lifted Bronco go by. It's like, gosh, that's what I need.
That's what I need right there.
I need to have that right now. You know.
Well, Stacy, thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk with us. We appreciate it. We know you're busy here, and you know, on Monday nights.
8:30. We're on now. Monday nights, 8:30, and still on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
That's our main time.
So check out Gearz, and we'll be right back.